Biden's home raided by FBI. Biden's classified documents scandal gets worse as president may lose 2024. That's pretty dramatic. That's pretty dramatic. The Daily Caller. That sounds like a credible news site. Let's check into them. But like before we even start, here, I'm gonna do my research on this side and then show you guys. The Daily Caller. Uh-oh, it says it has thought-provoking reporting. Don't like that. The Daily Caller. Bias. Right, I guess so. Oh, yowza, it is super right. All Sides Media gives it a rating of 3.8 to the right out of 6. So, yeah, trustworthy, guaranteed. Super trustworthy. Love it. Okay. All right, Tim.
The sitting president of these United States has now had his home and office searched several times. The latest news coming out today. The DOJ has raided the home of Biden in Rehoboth. Now, of course, you can see here on the screen, Daily Caller says DOJ searches Biden's Delaware home for a second time. Funny, when they searched Donald Trump's home, they called it a raid. The FBI raids Donald Trump, but Joe Biden's just been searched several.
Oh my God, dude. He's like arguing with a fucking borderline fascist channel here. Like the Daily Caller is like right-leaning as fuck, and he's out here like, why is it that you're so left-wing? You gotta do what I want. Like, it's unreal, dude. He'll be angry about anything. So, the question is, leading into this, right? Leading into the FBI search into his home in Rehoboth, did they find anything? Does anyone know? Anybody? Raise your hand. Class, raise your hand. Anybody know? They didn't. Yes, correct. That is correct. You're right. Let's hear whether Tim Pool says that. See, this is the thing, right? This is why it's important for me to talk a little bit, because all I'm trying to do is break down the priming he's giving you guys. Okay, he is priming the shit out of his audience ahead of this. Okay, instead of just reading it like we saw with me. Every time I do these like readings, I read the headline. If the headline changes or if the headline is really inflammatory or whatever, I'll tell you about that. But then I go right into reading the article and I talk about what I read inside the article. I go in it without preconceptions, because that's how you come out making more sense, right? You learn what's actually happening first, then you make these declarative statements off of it, right? But if you're trying to make like all these statements about like Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, it's called a raid. Joe Biden, they just say he's getting searched. Donald Trump got raided. Wonder why that is. It's probably because Joe Biden runs everything, and China and Joe Biden. And like, if that's how you're talking to your audience, naturally they're gonna get whipped up into a frenzy and they're gonna believe all kinds of stupid shit, because what you've done is you've prepped them to be in that mind state. So I'm doing a little bit of priming myself here, so hit me with the hypocrisy stick if you want. That's fine. Don't mind that, right? I'm doing it to counteract a little bit of his, okay?
Several times. Not playing it. Joe Biden got raided. Now, they didn't find any of the documents that they were looking for, or maybe it was a fishing expedition, but it really does feel like they don't want this guy running in 2024. Seems like his prospect for 2024 may be in the gutter, yet for some reason over at PredictIt, the prediction markets, people are increasing the odds that Joe Biden will be the nominee for the Democratic Party. Fine. He may not actually win. An ex-Clinton advisor said that Joe Biden's done. I mean, this document scandal is big and it's only getting worse.
we're going to listen to what else he has to say, but I want you guys to notice how he pivoted instantly. Joe Biden is getting raided. Joe Biden's home is getting raided. Oh, it turns out they didn't find anything. He didn't commit any crimes. He didn't actually do anything wrong. But anyway, he's still bad. And you know what? Because he's bad, he'll probably lose the election. And if he wins the election, it's because he cheated like he did last time. Like Obama did when he cheated. And like Obama did before that when he cheated. And like Bill Clinton did when he cheated. And like JFK did when he cheated. Like all the Democrats cheat all the time. Every Democrat ever won cheated. Donald Trump won 100% of the votes. Like, this is what I mean. Instead of pivoting away from it, read what's happening in the article and comment on it afterwards. I get it. He's got big, long segments. I have big, long segments, right? It's fine, right? It takes time to get through an article. You want to give your opinion. If you were just reading the article, there wouldn't be anything interesting. No one would want to come to you or whatever. But to me, it seems like Tim has built a brand for himself. You know what I mean? He has built himself as this like straight man, shoot 'em Republican, you know, where like he's not a Republican because he wants to be. He's an independent. He just votes for fucking basically just fascists. But like he's not right wing or left wing. He's just like in the middle. He just shoots it straight. So like, I don't know, man. I think it's ridiculous. You know, I tweeted out something about the Biden situation because just after Biden got picked up for having these classified documents in his home, right? I think not his Delaware home. There's another home, right? But once he was picked up for having these documents in his home, Mike Pence right afterwards had documents in his home. Right. And the difference, and this is truly how I think, and I think it's how the lawyers think. I'm pretty sure Legal Eagle did something about this one, is Donald Trump and Mike Pence didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Imagine you're working at an office facility, right? You're working for this office and you accidentally brought some folders that are technically part of the office home, like some files home with you, right? You go, oh shit, oh, I didn't even realize I had those, my bad. And then you give them right back to the business will not prosecute, right? Because it was an honest accident, right? So as long as you comply with all of their needs, there's no reason, right? But Donald Trump didn't do that. That's why he's potentially being pursued. That's the difference between that Trump claimed those were his documents. He can declassify them just by thinking it. And then they're mine. Those documents are mine. So, in this case, again, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. I don't fucking like Mike Pence. I don't think either of them did anything. Right? That's my opinion. That's my bias going into it. I side with lawyers.
Now, today, I'm doing my thing and I see the news and they're like breaking. The DOJ is once again searching Biden's home. Yeah.
Searching.
Objectivity is out in media. If it's Donald Trump, it's a raid. If it's Joe Biden, it's a search. And we get it. That's the name of the game. With Donald Trump, he can have them locked in a locker with a lock on it. Literally like a physical lock on the locker. I don't mean just like little lock. That's what I was trying to say. And the Secret Service can be protecting it. But Joe Biden, he can have it in his garage. His son can somehow know things about classified information. And the media runs defense. And that's where we're currently at. Now, I do think this is going to be very damaging for Joe Biden moving into 2024.
Okay. Let's look at how they were stored. Or we'll play his game. Trump documents. Nope. Mm. See, this is what I mean. The idea of them, like, being stored fucking irresponsibly in a place they're already not supposed to be is so outlandish that no one's even talking about it. Oh, no, right here. Okay, okay. So according to this is the New York Times. Nobody's gonna believe that. They think it's run by Jews, so nobody's gonna believe that. Let's go with the Guardian. People like the Guardian. Let's see. Because it says that they were just in boxes on a shelf in yeah, that's what it's looking. The content of the boxes in the pallets do not appear to have ever been cataloged. So they were just boxes on pallets. They were not in a locked document, apparently. It's not clear whether the storage facility referenced in the emails was the same storage facility that the new documents were found, but it was the place from where Trump's lawyers sent 24 boxes to the National Archives earlier. So, sorry, but it's no different from if it's in a storage facility on some pallets in an open box. It's no different from being in Biden's garage with the door locked. Literally the same. So I cannot get my head around this, because like if this was my guy, right? If I was like let's just flip the script, all right? Let's say it's not Biden, it's Bernie, right? I like Bernie. I don't like Biden. I like Bernie, all right? Let's say Bernie has classified documents, okay? And when asked to give those classified documents, he refuses to. The FBI raids his home, forcibly takes them. They're looking at potentially hitting him for seditious type charges. You know what I'm gonna say? Fuck him. Yeah, that was irresponsible. If he didn't make them public, try to give us a FOIA request for him or whatever, you know, like to where we could just get the freedom of the information or whatever. If he was just keeping them for himself and maybe showing off wealthy fucking businessmen that were interested in it or selling them to foreign nationals potentially, right? If that's not like if that's what he was doing, I would be pissed at Bernie and I would stand against him. And if later Trump had classified documents, who I can't stand, right? If Trump had classified documents and did exactly what Biden's doing, I would say the same thing, because it's not a problem, right? I'm not worried about how they were stored. Both times they were stored incorrectly. The correct way to store them is at the National Archives. So either way is wrong. Either way is wrong. But oh well. Tim just literally can't wrap his brain around objectivity. You know, he's talking about how subjectivity is everywhere in the media now. When it happens to Trump, it's a raid. When it happens to Biden, it's a search. But like, look at the facts that are different about them. Why are you not talking about Mike Pence right now? Right? Right.
But I'm not sure it will be a big enough deal for the average person who doesn't know and doesn't care. And now
the issue is that I'm the average person, right? I work a full-time job. Now I'm streaming, so I'm getting more into this. But like, I don't care because he gave all the documents back. But I do know. I would care if he did what happened with Trump, if he had them, was potentially selling them to foreign investors and refused to give them back to the National Archives. I would care then.
Now that the media has come out saying they're running defense for this guy, saying, look, you know, we saw this with Chuck Todd, that it's not a conspiracy. You know, he's cooperating. Everything's fine.
He is cooperating.
No questions about Hunter Biden. Uh-oh. The latest revelation on Hunter Biden is that apparently, well, let's just.
And I just, you know, I'm going to say this a lot, but Joe Biden isn't spelled Hunter. Putting that out there.
Just say there are salacious details about text messages sent to coworkers that we'll call it some kind of harassment. Even, I believe it's the New Yorker.
He's a piece of shit.
Is now saying this is a new low. You can't escape this stuff. The Biden family is dirty. Very dirty. And we all.
Bruh. That's disgusting. So if you guys didn't know, like, Biden had a son that was like, that died in the military. Like, you're calling all of them dirty, my guy. Eee. That's pretty disrespectful, my man. Didn't know you hated our armed servicemen that.
Also learned the other day that before the midterms, Joe Biden's office was raided, or I believe it was before the midterms, but in November, they raided the Penn Biden office looking for classified documents. We knew that Biden, or I should say, they knew that Biden had classified documents, which he's not legally allowed to have. He was not the president at the time when he took them. And they said nothing. And the media said nothing. So I want you to remember this as we rag on the corporate press in today's segment.
That is true. I can't deny that one. Straight up.
They are not here to help you. They are not here to challenge the machine, to speak up for the little guy, to speak truth to power.
Neither are you? What? Like, the issue I have, like, when we think about this, right? Think about just that phrase, speaking truth to power, right? That implies that there is some sort of truth out there and that you know it and that you are speaking it, right? But, like, if I asked Tim Pool what his epistemology was, he'd probably say, I don't know, I just go to the bathroom, man. That's all I do. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't fucking know what he's talking about. So no one has ever spoken truth to power, right? Everyone has a bias. Everyone has a spin. End of story. No matter what that is, everyone has a spin. Okay? Recognizing that and moving forward is important. It's something Tim doesn't seem to be able to do. He doesn't recognize that he has a spin and that he needs to try and curtail his spin a little bit, and he doesn't recognize somehow that the Daily Caller is a far-right news outlet, and he's still trying to say that they don't fucking like you. So the man's just fear-mongering.
They are here to speak power to truth, to shut it down, to protect the powerful, to protect the elite and the corrupt as they gut our system for personal gain. And
yeah, and that's what all the Republicans are doing. They're talking about phasing out Medicare. They're talking about getting rid of Social Security. You want to talk about someone cutting costs for the machine? Oh God, I gotta get that screen cap. That's so fucking funny. Look at this dude's face. Oh man. Okay. But like, you want to talk about someone that's fucking supporting the machine? You're voting for them, my guy. You want to talk about corruption? Like, almost everyone that Trump appointed was there because they made campaign donations to him. They were all billionaire buddies of his. Like, drain the swamp. All he did was put more swamp in the swamp. But again, Tim is incapable. And I mean this. I don't think he is capable of it. There's only two things that can be happening. His brain is literally incapable of taking information that runs contrary to his already made beliefs. Impossible. It doesn't work. There's like a mirror force, like Yu-Gi-Oh style reflection shield under his beanie that stops it from hitting him. Or two, he knows what he's doing and he doesn't give a fuck because he can make money off of it. And honestly, I mean, he's making money. So
meanwhile, the best thing you can do in the past several years is vote for someone like Donald Trump. They will lie, cheat, and steal, and do anything they can.
He's so angry all the time about nothing. Right now, I want you to think about this. Right now, there are 500,000 homeless Americans. This is the richest country that has existed in all of existence. The richest country. We are the most prosperous fucking nation to ever exist on the planet. There are 500,000 people that have to go without homes. Most of them are either veterans or mothers, single mothers with children on the fucking street. And right now, the GOP is more worried about the transes than fucking taking care of our fucking civilians. And he's so fucking angry right now. He's so upset, so angry that Joe Biden didn't get called a raid instead of a surge. Like, maybe take care of the people that actually matter. Or don't, man. Just keep fucking screaming at people that don't know any better. It's beautiful. Love the world we live in, baby.
To stop Donald Trump from actually making America great again.
How? Fuck, dude. Oh my god. That shit irritates me so much. How? How did he do it? You know, the one piece of legislation that he got through that really did anything? It was the tax bill. The tax bill. You know what happened? Literally fucking nothing, right? We cut taxes for the rich, cut them for the poor for a couple of years, and then went right back to it. All it is him shilling for corporations. By doing this, by looking out for Donald Trump, you are shilling for corporations. You're saying, yes, Danny Corp, give me more. For real, dude. That's a shame. I don't know why there's so much lag. Oof.
I'm not going to pretend like Donald Trump's a perfect guy. Far from it. But you actually had a president who seemed to be trying to shore up Americans' economy and defenses. You bring in the establishment once again with Joe Biden, and it seems like his goal is mostly just to gut it, to take as much as he can, and then run out the door. While your house burns down, he runs in, and you're screaming, "Help me, Joe!" And he goes, "I got it!" And then he grabs your TV and just bolts for it. Not that I think he could actually carry your TV, but you get my point.
This is smart man talk right here. Like, what we're talking about right now, and I just want to put this objectively, okay? Joe Biden accidentally kept some documents and gave them back the instant it was over, right? So that'd be like him coming over to your house, you know, using one of your controllers, accidentally stuffing your controller in his bag instead of his controller, right? And then, like, guess what? Hey, man, you stole my controller. Oh, shit, dude, I didn't even realize. I'm sorry. Let me bring it back to you. That's what happened with Joe Biden, okay? Donald Trump took the controller and said, no, this is my controller. The way it works is if you find it in my home, that means that it is my property. Go ahead, show me the receipt. Do you have the receipt for it? Oh, you don't? Guess whose controller it is? It is my controller now. And he's trying to compare Joe Biden to a common house thief. Like, I cannot for the life of me wrap my head around this. I can't, dude. Ugh.
But let's read about what's going on with the latest raid on Joe Biden. And then we'll talk about how the media lies about what happens to Joe and what happens to Donald. Before we get started, my friends, head over to Tim, such as with this, did to him was wrong. And he won, got everything back. And even he said, as people cheered him on, others whispered in his ear, but I would never do the same. We're going to build a culture doing the opposite.
Wait,
they
what?
seized his liquor. He said, so what? Aside, before we get into this segment down, he said, button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends, all that good stuff. I want to shout out Matt Strickland of Gore Melts in Virginia.
Gore Melts.
Comes on Timcast IRL on Monday.
For real, dude.
They tried to shut his business down. He said, no. They took his license. He said, don't care. They seized his liquor. He said, so what? And he won. He won in court. The courts agreed he was right the whole time.
Hey?
What the government did to him was wrong.
Wait. Oh my God, Tim, I'm going to fucking bash my head against, I am going to bash my head against the fucking wall. What is the judicial system? Oh my God, dude. Fucking, it's government. What do you mean what the government did to him is wrong? Like, as if some other entity came in, like, you know, a fucking white knight on a horse came in and said that was bad and fixed it. The government realized what they did was wrong. Holy shit. Yeah, a little sensual, huh? I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I don't get it, man. Like, this is the issue, is that, like, it's kind of like when fucking creationists argue about, like, yeah, and we found out that the Piltdown Man wasn't actually a fossil. It was made up. It was fake. And you're like, yeah, and who discovered that? Was it, did God tell you that one? Or, like, did scientists uncover that science was wrong? Oh, it was scientists. Got it. Like this, he's like, the government did bad things to him. And then it was righted by someone. I don't know who. It was raided by the government. Holy shit.
And he won, got everything back.
Because
and even he said, as people cheered him on,
right.
others whispered in his ear, but I would never do the same. We're going to build a culture doing the opposite. We are going to tell people there is no more just running and hiding and hoping everything just blows over. No, it's time to stand up and speak out. And here's why. From the Daily Caller, they report the Department of Justice conducted a second search of President Joe Biden's Delaware home on Wednesday after previously finding classified documents at the location January 20th. Full stop, Daily Caller. You see, here's exactly what I'm talking about. When it's Donald Trump.
Oh my God, this is like the 5th time he said this. This is what I mean. The man's brain is the size of a fucking walnut. He cannot physically get anything else in there, right? Like it doesn't fit. It's crazy, dude. It doesn't matter. And again, the Daily Caller is a far right news site. You're arguing with your friends because they use the wrong word, the less emotive word. He's upset with them for using objective language when they agree that they both hate Joe Biden. Like, my brain cannot wrap around the idea that this man is this angry about that specific thing. Like, raid versus search, and it kills him. He's dying. His blood pressure is fucking through the roof. It's 200 over 280.
4 dozen empty folders.
Okay. All right.
Marked classified found in Trump Mar-a-Lago raid. They raided Donald Trump,
dude. He's
and this
so
is CNBC,
angry.
and not even the Daily Caller, which is Tucker Carlson's. I don't know if he's still associated with the Daily Caller, but even they won't do it. I'm just so frustrated, guys. Look.
Wait, we're just gonna see, okay? We're just gonna see. Okay, we're just gonna see. Holy shit, dude. Joe Biden home raided by FBI. Let's see. FBI under pressure to raid Biden's home. Joe Biden was not raided by the FBI. Still no FBI raid. FBI finds no classified documents after raiding, like, over and over again. Raid. Search. Raid. So, like, they are, and that's just my first Google search. I didn't look for anything else. I just typed in Joe Biden search raid, or Joe Biden documents raid, just like that. Yeah, that's the issue, is that he's trying to get a plug. It's not search Shadow Legends, guys. It's raid Shadow Legends. You notice that? All right. I'm dying. Let's see if he ever makes a point.
I jokingly poked fun at Libby Emmons over at the Post Millennial because they called Antifa domestic terrorists protesters, and TimCast.com did the same thing, and I poked fun at our crew saying, guys, what are you doing? I'm just tired of it. Conservative, independent, and libertarian outlets will always give the benefit of the doubt in language to these corrupt psychopaths. No, they did not search Biden's home. They raided him, just like they raided Donald Trump.
So what's the difference, right? Like, this is my issue. This is why semantics is so important. What's the difference to you, Tim? What is it? It's frozen? Is it working again? Is it back up? Is it back up? Is it running now? I don't want to have to exit out and come back in the middle of a segment. No. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. No biggie. I'll look at it. Maybe my recording back on this side will be fine.
Or how about this?
How about this?
You can say the DOJ or the FBI searched Donald Trump's home.
Yep.
But if they're going to play the game of semantics and anything Trump does is apocalyptic and anything Biden does is a freebie, I won't. Joe Biden got raided for what, the fourth time? The DOJ is raiding a city.
We are almost 10 minutes into his video. I just want to point that out. Almost 10 minutes. And the only thing he has said is that it's not fair that they're calling it a search and not a raid. This is like, look, the veins are popping out of his neck. He is screeching right now for 10 minutes almost.
Sitting president. Why? Because he is corrupt human trash.
Corrupt
Quote,
human trash.
Today, with the president's full support and cooperation, the DOJ is conducting a planned search of his home in Rehoboth, Delaware. Bob Bauer, Biden's personal attorney, said in a statement. Yeah, and Donald Trump allowed them to come in and search his property.
No, he didn't. They had to go in against him, against his orders while he wasn't there. That's not what happened. He literally did not let them in. They had to force their way in.
But they called that one a raid.
Yeah, because they had to force
under
their way
DOJ's standard procedures. In the interests of operational security,
like, Tim's literally lying to his audience.
And integrity, it sought to do this work without advanced public notice, and we agreed to cooperate. The search today is a further step in a thorough and timely DOJ process we will continue to fully support and facilitate. We will have further information at the conclusion of today's search, Bauer added.
Okay. So I just want you to think about what was just said, because he's going to go on saying other stuff. But what they said is, what's happening right now is we are searching. We are doing our very best. This is a timely process. We're going to keep everybody updated, and we're going to make sure that we do this search to the fullest of our extent. And he does not look happy with that. What would make you happy? You know?
You know what people are thinking? Here's the plan.
See?
They're going to come out and say, Joe Biden broke the law. He broke the law by doing this, and that makes him ineligible. And then, when all the conservatives go, woo, Joe Biden, woo, you know, he's ineligible, they're going to say, and that also applies to Donald Trump. I think that's where it goes. They're basically saying,
okay,
look, Joe Biden.
And if that's the case, then that means we caught two criminals, right? Isn't that what that means? Like, if it turns out, which what Biden has done is not illegal to the best of our knowledge right now, given all the information we have, what he's done is not technically illegal, and what Trump did is potentially technically legal. You know, it's not looking good. But if both of them were illegal, that means that our DOJ caught 2, and with Pence, 3 criminals. That seems good to me, right? Doesn't that seem like the right thing? Doesn't that seem correct to you guys? Like, yeah.
Biden, he's old, he's done. He ain't going to be able to run, but he's saying he is. Now they have an excuse. Now they can say, look, Joe can't run. He violated the records provision or whatever. Joe Biden will be like, you know, it was a mistake, but I take full responsibility. And I recognize now under the Constitution, I will not be able to run for office or under the law. And then Donald Trump will be like, excuse me, no. And they'll be like, well, Joe Biden said it, so you can't run.
I mean, if the law says that you can't run, then you can't run. Like, yeah, if Biden broke the law, Trump broke it harder, my guy.
You know what they did with these people in like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Madison Cawthorn? They're trial balloons. They filed lawsuits saying you are ineligible to run for being an insurrectionist. Trial balloons. They are going to launch the full thing at Donald Trump. Well, we will see. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. No, I guess Ian actually has a crystal ball right there. It's Ian's, it's not mine. Okay, but like you can't literally see the future, so you get my point. There actually is a crystal ball on this table. Anyway,
that's pretty funny.
Arden Fari says, breaking. 2 sources familiar with the event tell CBS News FBI personnel are at Biden's Rehoboth home. One source familiar with the event tells CBS News the search is in relation to classified documents investigation. That is, the FBI raided Joe Biden again.
At some point, you just gotta laugh, right? Like, at some point, it's just funny. He just keeps getting angry that they didn't say raid.
Biden's lawyers originally found classified documents at the Penn Biden Center on November 2nd, a think tank where Biden held an office as vice president. His lawyers found additional documents in his home.
Yep.
The DOJ conducted a consensual search of the property on January 20th. A consensual search? Ah, yes, not a raid. A consent.
Yeah, because Donald Trump didn't consent to the search. He wasn't even in Mar-a-Lago when it happened, right? Like, am I misremembering this? I'm looking it up. Did Trump consent to Mar-a-Lago a search warrant was, so already they had to get a warrant to come in. Yeah. By the way, this from 2022, FBI search Trump. Just so we're all clear on that one. Yep. Looks to me right now they had to get a warrant, so yep. It was Trump who referred to it as a raid anyway. So yeah. Dude, for real. Like, no, the issue is that the right has never been funny, and they never will be, because they don't understand comedy, you know? But yeah, there you go, you know? There it is. We done did found it. Turns out not only is he wrong, God, look at his smug little face. It's adorable. Not only was he wrong about them referring to it as a search, CNN was referring to, or that was CNBC, CNN, one of those left-wing ones, were referring to it as a search. The reason they referred to it as a raid was because Donald Trump wanted it to seem like it was a raid, because he thought it was illegal for them to do that, despite the fact that it was not. They had a search warrant, and they had to execute the search warrant. They were not cooperated with. If a cop comes up to you and says, "We would like to search your home," and you go, "Yeah, go ahead," they don't need a warrant. But they did for Trump. So it was a consensual search from Biden. He was like, "Yeah, go ahead. If you find them, take them back." It was with Pence. Again, I'm doing this fucking, you want to talk about someone going straight down the middle on you? It's not a fucking Tim Pool here. It's me. Right down the middle. Mike Pence didn't violate any statutes. Neither did Joe Biden. Donald Trump did, but neither of those two did. Mike Pence did not. So, like, if they're actually consenting to the search, then it was a consensual search.
Consensual search, even though Donald Trump allowed them to search his property as well.
No, he didn't.
That one was a raid.
No, he didn't. And Trump, we just went over it. No, he didn't.
The DOJ had full access to the president's home, including personally handwritten notes, files, papers, binders, memorabilia, to-do lists, schedules, and reminders going back decades, Bauer's statement said at the time. Well, they found nothing.
Yeah, baby. Say something about how they didn't find anything. Let's hear you talk about that.
Breaking. FBI finds no documents in Biden's $2.7 million Rehoboth vacation home after 3.5-hour search with White House under fire for lack of transparency. I think it's important context. They raided him. They found nothing. Fine. So be it. I'm not here to act like he's got a trove of secret documents or anything. We're just going to talk to you about the media bias, the manipulation, and the corruption itself. From the Washington Post.
Oh man, fine. He didn't have a whole bunch of documents hidden or anything like that, okay? But like, what about the media bias though? I know, like, the thing that I'm accusing him of doing, he didn't do. But what about the media though? The media is bad. I know I'm part of the media. I know technically I'm the media, but the media is bad. Something else, man.
FBI searched Penn Biden Center after president's aides reported documents.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we can get anything out of this. Honestly, I don't know if we even got anything out of it already. So I think we've hit the end of his ability to give us intelligible remarks. So we're going to go ahead and cut the segment.